All right, so let's get into it. Start this slideshow. How to make winning ads. So there is a lot that goes into actually making winning ad creatives. Let's move this up here. A lot of guys, a lot of digital marketing guys, they don't talk about, what you actually have to do to make winning ads. So there is a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of stuff that you can do to improve the results of your ads. That is fairly simple, and a lot of people just don't know. And since nobody likes to talk about this because it is so important, a lot of people just are clueless in this aspect and they don't know why their ads don't work. They don't know why they can never see any sales from their ads, or their ads are just highly unprofitable. So let's get into it. First off, you need to understand these principles. If they've never heard of you, they don't give a shit. So if what this means is if somebody is scrolling on TikTok or whatever, and they see an ad for your product and they've never heard of you, they don't know who you are, they're not going to care what you have to sell them. They're not going to be interested in whatever it is unless you make them interested. So with that being said, you have about 3 to 5 seconds, if not less, to make them care. So you have literally, in most cases, 3, maybe 5 seconds to get their attention, to hook them in, to, really get them interested in whatever it is that you're saying, whatever it is that you have to show them. So this is kind of where the magic lies. The difference between a ad that doesn't convert and an ad that converts well, a lot of times is in that first 3 to 5 seconds. So if you can master the art of the hook, people like Tai Lopez, for example, have done this, with his shiny Lamborghini. But if you can master the art of the hook and really get people's attention, get them interested in what you have to say, then you can sell a lot more of your product or whatever it is you're selling. So people buy based on emotion, pain, pleasure, or discomfort. If you can solve one of these, if you can make one of these go away, generally you're going to be able to sell more of whatever the product is. If you can really, solve this for whatever that person is experiencing, whatever discomfort they're experiencing, or pleasure, or if you want them to have pleasure, or whatever pain they're experiencing. If you can, solve for one of those emotions and make their life better, then you have a higher chance of selling whatever it is you're selling. Being the lowest price isn't always the best. And in fact, it can make your life much harder and make it much more difficult to market your product. So you do not always want to be the lowest price product. A lot of people think, well, if I just make my price lower than everybody else's, then more people will buy. That isn't always true. I mean, think about it. If an iPhone, if I'm trying to sell an iPhone, for example, and I put the price on Facebook Marketplace as $1, do you think I'm going to sell that iPhone? Everybody's going to look at that and they're going to think it's a scam because the price is so low. So, being the lowest price isn't always a good thing. If your price is way lower than everybody else's, it creates this lack of trust. People think it's a scam. They think it's fake. So you don't always want to be the lowest price, and there's no loyalty there. Andy Frisella talks about how it's actually detrimental to be the lowest price because those customers that buy don't have any loyalty for your brand. And you want to make an offer. So this is the key right here. This is the part that nobody thinks about. You want to make your product and you want to make your offer so good that your customers market it for you. Your customers tell everybody about your product. They tell about how amazing it is, and how much they need it. So when your customers are actually marketing your product, that's when you can really see crazy results. That word of mouth starts to kick in, and you start to get a bunch of sales through word of mouth. So, what is it about the hook that's so important? How do you actually make a good hook? So the hook, like I said, will make or break your ads. So how do you actually make a good hook? You don't confuse people. You spark curiosity. You interrupt their pattern of scrolling with something unusual. like the oddly satisfying videos where they show these weird clips in the hook. The reason they do that is because most likely they're working. The reason they're doing those oddly satisfying videos that, just kind of, almost attack your senses in a way, make you feel uncomfortable. It doesn't make you feel good, but it catches your attention, right? And makes you want to watch the rest of the video in a weird way. Showing the problem your target customer faces. This is where understanding your target customer really comes into play. You have to know how to speak to your target customer, what types of language to say to them, what types of things they're interested in, what types of problems they face, what are the things that they experience, what do they need help with solving. All this stuff goes into making a good hook. So don't make your hook confusing. Don't make it wordy. Don't make it, try to appeal to everybody. Make it appeal to a very specific target customer, who it is that you are speaking to. Speak directly to them. So here's some examples of hooks that may work. So you could have somebody throw you whatever your product is that you're trying to sell and catch it. This is one that we had work very well. It worked really well on TikTok. And then we took that ad, basically repurposed it, used it on Facebook, and it's now one of our best performing ads for a company I run ads for on Facebook also. And the hook is literally somebody throwing the guy the product, catching it, and then going into another clip right after. And what we did actually with that ad, another thing we did is we took one of the pain points that our target customer experiences, and we added a clip of like a woman screaming in distress at the beginning of the ad. So since we know that with this particular product that I was marketing, that women are buying the product, that clip of a woman screaming really resonates with them when we're playing on that pain point and showing the problem in that clip, directly after that hook. So hooks that I've seen work really, really well. This is one we've had work really, really well. Also, here's 3 reasons why, or here's 5 reasons why, and then go into whatever the product solves. That's one thing that catches people's attention because they want to watch to the end and see what are all the reasons, right? Another one is a problem to solution hook. If you're tired of blank, then get this. To solve the problem, and then you're showing the problem usually in that hook, and then showing the solution really quick, fast paced. Another one would be to put something in reverse or put it in slow-mo to just kind of catch people's attention, or just shoot a clip in a weird angle that they don't usually see. Doing something weird at the beginning. Another one is to call out an unknown problem that your customer may have. For example, your loofah is gross. This is one that I've seen also working very well. Now, there's all kinds of hooks you can test, but that's just, scratching the surface of what you can do. So to go into the ads itself, after the hook, go back. So to go into the ads itself, after the hook, your ad has to be engaging. So you don't want to ramble. You want to be direct. Whenever you're trying to advertise to somebody and you're putting money behind something, you should make it very, very good. You should be obsessing over the ad, making every little clip, every little detail perfect in that ad. Not just like organic content where, obviously you want to make it good, but you're not putting money behind organic content. With paid ads, you are actually putting money behind these ads. So it will pay you more to make the ads better rather than, doing it halfway and then blowing a bunch of money and not seeing any sales. Use direct language, call out that target customer and what the problems are that they may face. Speak directly to them, to who you're marketing to. Answer common questions or objections in the messaging. If it's confusing at all, it's probably not going to convert. So if you confuse people, if you make it real wordy, you're speaking to too broad of an audience, chances are the ads aren't going to work. Good ads, it should not feel like you're just trying to sell them something. When I say it shouldn't feel like ads here in this, what I mean is it shouldn't feel like you're trying to sell them a product. It should feel like you're being entertaining, you're being engaging, and you're showing them something that they could really use, that could really help them, to make their life better in some way. That's what good ads do. They convey whatever it is you're trying to convey, but they don't just, tell people to buy their product. Nobody wants to hear that. Keep the clips fast paced. Ideally every, few seconds, 3 to 5 seconds, you should be cutting to a new clip. It should be fast paced. You don't have to use a bunch of, fancy transitions even, but the clips should feel fast paced. Another important one is, it may seem obvious, but that so many people don't do this. You need to actually have a call to action in the ad. If you want somebody to click a link, say click a link, and then show the text saying to click a link on the screen whenever you're wanting them to click the link, which is usually going to be at the end of the ad. Usually you're going to have the call to action as the last thing in the ad. So those are some tips as far as the ad creative goes. If you don't want to do the ads yourself, you can outsource this stuff. Or if you don't want to do the script writing yourself, you can use software to do it. So once you understand what goes into actually making winning ads, after you've studied advertising, and you've watched a bunch of winning ads, you've really analyzed all these little details about these ads, which I would suggest doing. You could just outsource this if you have the means to do so. So if you have the money to do so, you could just hire UGC content creators to actually shoot the content for you. Maybe once you start to see some sales from whatever it is you're selling, or if you just have the money already, you could just hire somebody. So you could use tools like, ChatGPT or the TikTok Ads AI script writer for your script writing if you want. I would highly suggest, especially if you're new to ads, advertising, going on the TikTok Ads library, their top ads library, and analyzing the top performing ads. So I'm going to switch this over here in just a second. I'm going to show you how I've done this, and you can literally model the top performing creatives. You can go in here, you can find the top performing creatives that have been working the best, and you can model these ads with your own ads, because obviously, if they're spending, thousands of dollars on these ads and they're performing really well, then the creatives are working. So, you can just basically copy with your own inspiration whatever it is that they're doing. So first thing is you're going to go over here, you're going to select your country. In my case, it's United States. Go to your industry. I usually go on here and I'll select like e-commerce, go find big box retailers, large e-commerce, small and medium size. If you wanted, you could uncheck the big box retailers. It doesn't really matter. Just go select whatever industry is relevant to you. For objective, this is important. You're going to go and select conversions, because you only want to see conversion ads. Add language. Select your language that you plan to advertise in. Add format. I'm going to select Spark ads. And then for likes, we're only going to want to see the top 1 to 20% of likes, so that we're only seeing the best performing ads. You can filter this by reach, and you can actually look and see which ads are performing the best. So you can go in here and you can watch these ads, really look at what it is they're doing that's been working well. Keep in mind that some of these may also be ran. Some of these may also be ran in other types of campaigns. So you have to keep an eye out and make sure it's only a conversions campaign. But go in and you can analyze the different metrics, see how many likes it's getting, all the details in the ad, and figure out what it is that they're doing well that is working. All right, so I just clicked on one of these ads. We're going to look at this and we're going to see if we can figure out what it is that they've done in this ad that's working well. So first, let's look at the analytics. Conversion rate, clicks. So most of their clicks are happening, it looks like, right at the beginning of the ad. It's fairly short. And let's see here. Let's just watch and see what they did, because it looks like this ad has a good hook based on what I'm seeing. Click-through rate. Yep, so most of the clicks are happening towards the beginning of the ad. So in the first few seconds. So what they did in this ad, this is something that I'm seeing, a lot in the digital marketing space, is they did kind of what's called a pattern interrupt. And I don't know if you can hear it on your end, but the creator that's shooting this ad goes, "This coach turn lock," or whatever. And she says it in a weird way to where it kind of hooks people in and catches their attention. This is a pattern interrupt, as it's called. Other examples of this would be, if they're starting the video off talking in like a high pitched voice for like that first second, and then their voice goes back to normal. That's another thing I've seen a lot of people doing on TikTok that seems to work really, really well. Another one that people talk about working well is, like whispering even. But there's a lot of ways that you can really hook people in, get them engaged in those first few seconds. You can, for hiring those UGC creators, you can use sites like Upwork, you can use TikTok Creator Marketplace, or you could use services like Billo or Incense for the UGC. For writing the scripts, you could use TikTok Ads AI Scriptwriter, and it will actually give you really good scripts to work with to give to your potential content creators. So a lot of stuff that you can do, even with AI, to help you save time or even save money if you want to go that route. And then, lastly, you should really be making data-driven decisions on your ads. So what I mean by that is you should really be analyzing the ads, based on data. What does the data show you about the ad? Because at the end of the day, people will always say, well, I thought that was a good ad. So they'll leave ads running that aren't clearly are not working because they think that's a good ad when the data shows them that the ad doesn't work. Nothing about the ad is good, but they leave it running for a very long time, wasting hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on those ads just because they feel like it's a good ad. You can't make decisions based on your feelings. You have to make data-driven decisions if you want to be successful in running ads. So you have to know when to cut things. You can't be emotional about it and leave stuff running a really long time if it's not working at all. So knowing when to cut things and when not to is important. Analyze your TikTok ads with their creative tools that they have on TikTok. You can actually go in and you can analyze frame by frame on the ads to see when people are clicking, when people are dropping off in the ads, and then make improvements based on what it shows you, what the data is actually showing you about the creatives. If they're dropping off at a certain point and clicking away at a certain point, then it may not be a good ad, or it may not be a good clip that resonates well with people. So you may have to, go back in and change that creative to make it better. You may have to improve the creatives. Make improvements based on what the data shows you. Look for patterns in winning ad creatives or winning hooks. If you find a hook that's working really well, continue to make, similar hooks, or reuse the hook even if you want. If it's still working well, and then just change the rest of the video. If it isn't working, turn it off and then improve, fix whatever wasn't working. Change the angle that you're using in your marketing. Change the hook, change the way that you shoot the clips. Instead of showing your face in the product, just try just showing the product and then having a voiceover or something like that. Add some social proof in it, add some UGC clips or some testimonials. There's all kinds of stuff you can do to test that may result in an improvement in performance. So anyways, that is about it for this video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe for more.